Okay, so today our focus will be looking at editing, of course, then narrative comprehension, and then the last bit will be looking at current affairs and having a discussion over that one. Fantastic. Okay. So without further ado, let's go to the editing portion. And as usual, we'll be looking for the errors. Galvin, would you like to read for us?
I woke up to a loud buzzing noise coming from my front yard. I looked at the clock. It was 3 in the morning. Now I do not know about you, but that is quite early for anyone to be awake. So I decided that my feline instinct was telling me to go investigate. I pounced onto the window sill, but peered outside. I saw a faint glowing light coming from under the bush. I jumped out of the window and started to crawl towards the glowing bush. I heard a noise coming from the bush. It sounded like 1,000 bees swarming over a bear.
Thank you. Have I got all your corrections? You've got 3 corrections there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do not know. So I decided my felines were getting me to investigate. Pounced up. Yeah. But peered outside. So you almost said peering, but then corrected yourself, but peered outside. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Dhruv. We'll just finish with the question. The previous one was, it sounded like 1,000 bees swarming over a bear. Dhruv?
Who had stolen their money. I was timid at first, but when I saw the creature that walked out of the radioactive-like bush, I was relieved. It was no more than 6 inches in height, and it resembled a pig-like statue. It was a royal purple color with little green polka dots. It was the most adorable creature I had ever seen in any of my 9 lives. Walking towards me, it said, Zubulab.
Your pronunciation of Zubulab is perfect. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we've got the, oh, I made a mistake there. Had ever seen. Yes, absolutely. So well done. Now, what do we know about the writer of this story? Who is the writer of this story?
Okay.
How can you tell?
9 lives.
9 lives was a giveaway, wasn't it? But was there anything on the first slide that told you it's a cat?
Feline instinct.
Well done. Yes. So we've got the feline instinct there. Yes, exactly. That tells us that's a cat. Feline is a cat. Yes, it means cat-like. Thank you for the annotation there. Yes, so when I started reading it, I didn't realize it was a cat straight away. But when I saw pounced onto the windowsill, I thought human beings cannot pounce onto the windowsill. It's not possible for us to pounce like that, especially on a windowsill. It has to be an animal. It can't be a human, because we don't do pouncing like that. Absolutely. But we can do some pretty cool things. And if we have time later, I want to show you a video about this very cool guy. He doesn't do pouncing, but he does jumping in an extraordinary way. Okay, thank you very much. Do you know about this royal purple? What does it mean by royal purple? Why is it royal purple?
Its skin color is royal purple.
But what does it mean by royal?
Bright.
Interesting. Yeah. Actually, royal is to do with kings. So royalty is kingship. Yes. The traditional word for in French for king is ROI or ROY. That means king. So kingly purple. So it says it was 6 inches in height. It had a pig-like statue. It had a kingly purple color with green polka dots. What kind of creature was this? Unknown. Yes, maybe an imaginary animal. But it's has a great way of speaking. Zubulap, zubulap. How it speaks is wonderful. Maybe not fake. Fake is something which is intentionally meant to cheat people. So it's just imaginary. I'd say the word imaginary. Yeah, imaginary. Not fake, not fake. Fake means like a fake watch or fake, something which is pretending to be something else, okay? It's more imaginary. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you've got and understand the annotation tools because it's really helpful for you to get involved, and I will ask you to do annotation. So I actually bought myself this beautiful digital pen, but somehow it doesn't seem to be working properly today. But by next week, I hope I'll have mastered it. Okay, thank you for putting the Y in there. And that's saved. Can you put the Y in here as well? Thanks. Okay, let's go on to the narrative comprehension. And once again, this is an opportunity for you to practice reading, as well as reading between the lines, trying to understand what it's all about. Okay. And then we'll look at the questions. Okay, so one of our other teachers, Miss Indra, has shared with you some synonyms, some other ways of using these words. So I hope it helps you to understand what those words mean. I hope that's useful to you. Okay, Dhruv, would you like to read this slide? And could we stop annotating just for a moment, please? Thank you.
May in Ayinmenam is a hot, brooding month. The days are long and humid. The sun snaps off the shiny surfaces of cars, slashing at eyes like broken, unfilled fingernails. The river shrinks and wild blue bottles hum dully in the fruity air. The sun rays are so intense that it is a wonder that flesh does not crisp under its relentless rays. It is in the summer that heat, that too often that the cries of domestic helpers can be heard, yelping in the pain from the scalding steam of hot water they were unprepared for as they turn on the kitchen faucets to carry out their chores. Almost all social interactions tended to wither to ash in the heat, leaving people to pass each other with only quiet monosyllabic greetings. Even the normal shouting and play of children are muffled into occasional brief exclamations. The nights are clear but saturated with sloth and sullen expectations.
Thank you so much, Dhruv. That was beautifully read, really clear, very expressive. I tell you, your actor material, great voice. Yes. Okay, so you want to look at this word monosyllabic. Split it up. Monosyllabic. You said it very well. You got it correct. Monosyllabic. Any other words that you wanted to check?
What does this mean?
Monosyllabic. Okay. So mono means one. Mono means one. Yeah, this bit here is one. Means number one, just one thing. Okay. And you know what a syllable is? What's a syllable? Any ideas?
Like shiny has 2 syllables.
Very good. Yes. So one syllable word is like hi. Fine. Good.
The.
Yes. No. Yes, those are one syllable. So do you know some people who are like that whenever you ask them a question, say, how are you? How are you doing? Fine. Is everything okay? Yes. That is the monosyllabic answer. Okay. All right. Hi. Yeah. You don't really get much response from them. They're not friendly. Yeah. So that's the monosyllabic greetings. And why are they maybe monosyllabic? Is they're so hot. Everybody feels so hot and tired. The heat is really, can't be bothered to talk. Sorry, it's just too hot. Yes, exactly. Yes. How would we say this word? Let's have a crack at it. It's not an English place. You want to have a go. So I think we've got
Is it a place in a country?
IMNM. It's a place.
Is it a place in Australia?
Okay, let's put our guesses here. So Australia is our first guess. Okay, because we know Australia is hot, right? And let's have a look at clues in the text to see if there's anything else Australian about this text.
Isn't it India?
Why do you think it's India?
Google said so.
You Googled it. Oh, don't Google it. You're supposed to use your brain. Google kills your brain, okay? First think, okay? So we look for clues. How do you know it's India? How can we tell it's India, not Australia? Because the heat is the same. What about this word?
Is it cries of domestic helpers?
Yes, of course there are domestic helpers in Australia, but it's not so much. It's quite rare to have a domestic helper in Australia. Anything else that makes you think that it's not Australia? No? Okay, well, we'll have a look at the next slide. No, that's kind of everywhere, isn't it? I think the domestic helpers makes us think, okay, all right. So let's have a look at the next slide.
What are blue bottles?
It's a kind of fly. A blue bottle is a big fly, and it's a blue color. So you get flies in Australia, you get flies in India. You get